moment, but we're still, both of these teams, this is their first game. One team has to go to loser's bracket, the face button bashers. The winners have to go face Complexity Black. Either way, I don't think that's good for either team, but if you're going to do it, I guess you want to stay in that winner's bracket, and they'll be facing off against Complexity Black.
And these are all world-class players that we do have playing right now, so anything can happen at this tournament.
And now you actually see it in the arena. On the top left, that is going to be Ski G with Reels on Rogue, Azale on Warlock, and Collective on Shaman. A very common comp of RLS. On the right side, Complexity Red, Snuts on Warlock, Soda on Priest, and Venruki on Mage.
Now, one of the things we've been seeing out of Venruki so far at this tournament, when he's not playing that Arcane, of course, is he has a ton of control as Frost. Now, do you think he's going to be able to swap his playstyle? Because, Wizard Cleave is a little bit different.
It really depends what Snuts actually does decide on his spec. Now, we've seen him run both specs, and he runs them both very well, but that really comes down to what they are going to be trying to achieve.
All right, so we are going to follow Reels out of the start to see how he handles that opener onto this Wizard Cleave. Looks like he is going to take his time. Let's swap over to Snuts. And, look at how close everyone on the team except for Reels is right now. Reels is trying to find his target, sprinting over, and there he goes. Now they are going to choose to go onto Soda right now. Big fear onto Collective, choosing not to break it right now. Zale down to half already, and then Collective getting out of that with a trinket, actually. He's using a lot of cooldowns already. Bloodlust is already used.
And now you actually see dots from Soda onto Collective. They're going to be looking for a switch here pretty soon. And now you see actually a cheap shot onto Soda, so a little pressure there. But look at Reels just dropping, and that's what you see from these Wizard Cleave setups. Just a lot of damage very quickly.
Fear onto Collective right there, which is going to break. A little bit late tremor kill right there, and a fear onto Snuts, and there dots onto Snuts, and that's what they need to do is spread out all these dots.
And now you have a fear in a sheep onto Azale trying to control damage a little bit, but Soda once again under pressure. There's a UA up and a death coil inside of a kidney, followed by a fear, so a lot of damage coming out, but they do stop it with that Shadow Fury. But Azale in a little bit of trouble, dropping down to 4,000 HP. He's trying to get out of there, 266 HP, and down goes Azale.
And Snuts doing such a great job there. He stopped the damage onto Soda with that Shadow Fury, turned it around immediately, and started dotting up and damaging Azale.
And now they're going to be trying to clean this up real quick. Reels goes down, leaving Collective alone inside that poly, and he's not going to be able to do anything, and Complexity Red is going to take the first game.
Look at the amount of damage from Snuts. Not only that, Soda. 32,000 damage from Soda.
Taking a page out of number one's book there, and that kind of looks like another triple DPS team. Complexity Red, it's great to see them alive and really coming out strong here, because as we talked about in the pregame show, was one of the things we haven't seen out of this Complexity lineup in quite a while. It was just that confidence that we're used to seeing. They kind of had a tough go there for a while, but Rekful did step in and they started doing really well, but since then it's been a tough go for them.
It has, and one of the things we can talk about is the amount of crowd control, and not only that, Wizard Cleave is the dynamic. You can swap from doing a ton of damage to crowd controlling when you need, and that's what we saw from Snuts. He immediately identified that Soda was in trouble, used his Shadow Fury to just stop that damage momentarily. Soda was able to get away and turn it around immediately.
All right, let's go ahead into the next arena. It's going to be played on Dalaran. Now, both of these teams pretty heavy on casters, but the real question is where does Reels decide to put his opener? Is he able to get somebody out in the open and Azale dot them up? That's the big strength of RLS, but right now Snuts and Venruki just punishing anyone that stays in LOS for too long.
Oh, it's true. At the beginning, Collective had to trinket before Reels got a chance to open. That's how fast they are putting this crowd control out onto the team of Skiji.
Now, of course, with both teams having a Warlock, we won't really attest too much favor here, but that is one thing that these Warlocks do have the option of doing, and that's using their portal to kite out of LOS and get out of bad situations. Now, let's go ahead and see exactly what happens with Reels here in this opener, because it's going to be huge with how this game goes down.
All right, so this is going to be round two. Complexity Red is up 1-0 over SKEG right now. Going to be following Reels out of the gate on Dalaran Sewers.
And here we go, a very early sprint. He's going to cut right across the arena to the right side. He does have Soda targeted. Looks like he was going to try to get a sap off, but he was able to get into combat. So here goes Reels with the opener onto Snuts in a very early bloodlust as Collective is caught in that deep freeze.
And we see he actually was able to get out of that poly right there with the Devour, but he's going to be stuck in this one. Ooh, Shadow Fury takes him out of the poly too. Collective going to be the target for the team. Huge Howl of Terror right there.
And now you see Snuts caught in that Hex. It is going to be cleansed by Vinruki, but a little bit of damage going over to both sides. Finally, Reels is going to vanish, and it looks like he's going to go over to Soda that is in the back of the arena. There's the opener. He does have PI on, but taking a lot of damage. Soda getting very low. Finally, the Fear comes in and getting off his target, and another vanish use. They're going to try to rush down Soda, down very low, sitting about 5,000 HP, trying to pick himself up, but in comes that Drain Soul, and let's see if they're able to put him down. He's just channeling it down to 3,000 HP. Soda's so very low, but Reels can't get back over to him. Those dots are ticking, and finally Appendix comes in to pick himself up.
And he is going to be full health right here since there is no MS on him right now. Now Collective still taking a little bit of off damage from those dots right there. Snuts down completely out of mana, but being a Warlock able to tap that back up. And look at this, switch onto Reels with dots from everyone on the team right now.
And there you see it, he is going to make it out of there, but he's just trying to get some damage out and just having a tough go of things. Going to go behind the box for just a minute in LOS, and finally coming back around. But take a quick look at mana. Soda sitting very high, and Collective almost at this point. Not sure if he's actually used his mana tide yet, doesn't look so. And now we see both of these teams kind of taking a little backseat for a moment, but Snuts still not topped off, and Soda taking a lot of damage.
Collective was trying to hex Soda right there. Soda able to fear him away, which is kind of big right now. However, not too much damage coming out from this team of Complexity Red at the moment. But you know Wizard Cleave, they can burst in a second. Reels right now caught into that Shadow Fury, has the Earth Shield up.
And now you see it, they're just controlling Reels. That's been the story so far, but look at Collective's mana. Down to 600 mana, and you hear the scream of Snuts as they're going on to a Zale, and Vinruki was caught into a Hex.
Snuts right now in the center of the arena, and there we go. Now we see an Incinerate onto the Zale, and with a Fear away, that was completely needed. 4,000 hit points, and Collective is in a Fear Psychic Scream right now, not able to heal. Azale has no help right now, and
there he goes.
He's going to go down.
Wow, Collective ran completely dry in this game. No mana to help Azale out. And Snuts turning out to be one of our more vocal players here at the tournament. You hear him every time they come close to a kill. And now Complexity Red sitting in a very strong position early on.
Of course, I mean, they just seem completely outmatched. I mean, that game went on a lot longer than the first, of course. But, I mean, lots of crowd control all over the place.
And now Complexity Red being up 2-0 over Ski G, they are going to have this opportunity after this game to kind of change comps, specs, and talk things over. And I can almost guarantee you both these teams are going to take some time and figure it out, because with those 4-man rosters, there's a lot of changes that can happen.
There isn't, and SKEG really needs to come back from this. I mean, what can they run to counter this Wizard Cleave?
And really, look at the damage breakdown, though. I mean, 124,000 from Snuts. Snuts, a brand new face in Anaheim and coming into this championship and just really being an all-star so far.
It's true. I mean, that Complexity BHMS, which is what he was part of, that team that came off of that online tournament that we had, and now look at this. He's playing in the grand finals.
All right, we're going to take a short commercial break and come back right here live from Orlando for the Major League Gaming 2009 PC Circuit.
Do you know how many different scents Old Spice makes?
How many? Wow, that is a lot.
Hi. I hate my phone. What do I do? This is crazy.
Let's run a free upgrade check. See if you're due for a new smartphone.
Don't I need to go to my carrier store for that?
No, you don't have to. We sell phones and plans on all the major networks.
Okay, well, is time travel possible?
Yes, I am from the future.
Phones, plans, and advice from thousands of people eager to help.
Scientific test proof. When you drink Dr. Pepper slow, 23 flavors taste even better. For me, slow always produces a hit. Step aside for a minute. Check this out. Slower is better. Trust me, I'm a doctor. Yeah.
Get your Stride gum and chew another piece already, or we'll find you.
Got the gum.
The ridiculously long-lasting gum. New Stride Uber Bubble.
Welcome back to the 2009 Major League Gaming PC circuit played on HP live from Orlando. I'm Keith Idgo Trahan, joined by Jared VL Colston, as we are right in the middle of the series between coL.Red and SKEG.
And what an exciting match so far. We got to see some Wizard Cleave action finally actually being played in a tournament.
Well, we did see it yesterday, of course.
Oh, yeah, in the All-Star, of course. But
and they did great with that as well, but now we're seeing it in a true, real tournament situation with a sponsor team, all with their original roster, and really shining so far. They're up 2-0 after 2 games played.
Yeah, and we heard JP was telling us that Snuts, channeling a little Korean right there, yelling kill in Korean for the team of Button Bashers who was laughing behind him.
And actually, he just let us know as well, everyone around him thinks it's kind of a joke and it's funny, you know, he's just trying to have some fun with it. But in reality, another one of those tools that these teams use because they are very close to each other. When he yells at it, it's actually him faking CS. So that means they have the green light, as we used to call it, I guess, to go on somebody. So we're going to be going into Game 3 in just a minute. Now, the teams did have 5 minutes to make any decisions they wanted, changing their comps, changing their specs. So we might see something different in this next game. But here we see this team of SKEG. Now we do have Pooks, Azael, and Collective sitting down. So might see Mage, Warlock, Shaman.
Little see if you can out-cleave each other.
When in doubt, cleave, apparently. And on the other side of things, I do believe we still have the same players sitting down. And no, it looks like, well, yeah, we still have Soda, Vinruki, and Snuts sitting there. So doesn't look like we're going to see anything too different there.
Not at all. I mean, they're having such success. There's no point in putting in that rogue right quite yet.
Now we'll have to see, I guess, which Wizard Cleave will be the better here. But even with this change, SKEG still down in that 0-2 position. coL.Red only needs to clinch 2 more wins and they will progress on to the winners bracket and knock SKEG down to face Button Bashers in the next series.
I mean, losing this round or losing this match rather, and having to play Button Bashers, I wouldn't want to be the team that loses this.
Well, winning this round and going to face coL.Black, this is a tough spot to be in. And still, I mean, this is a tough tournament, but that's what you expect whenever you come down to the top 4 teams from over the year. And basically, we're trying to find out who is the best.
So these teams are taking as much time as they can to discuss everything possible. I did see Azael in-game possibly swapping his spec, I do believe, with that dual spec option that Blizzard put in. And he is getting ready for the single match.
So while we do have a little bit of downtime, we will change over to the Ask the Cast thread, which is hosted on gotfrag.com on the forums, and try to answer a couple questions that you have at Jared or I in between these games. And like right now, a lot of people are seeing these multi-clashes, which is something that really shined in the All-Star Challenge. A lot of these professional players playing different things along the way, and we do have a question here asking basically if multi-classing is better than focusing 100% on one class.
Well, I think that you do need to be able to play more than one spec and one class. It is very important at these tournaments. However, you shouldn't be spreading yourself too thin. You do need to practice. It's not like, okay, I leveled up at Death Knight, I played him in a dungeon once or twice, maybe I can do it in the arenas. But these players they all have alts on live, that are geared up so they can constantly play. And I tell you what, once the tournament realm comes out, you're going to see players playing just about everything.
That is true, but here we go. Game 3 between coL.Red and this team of SKEG, going to be played on Blade's Edge Arena, it looks like. And now both teams having a Warlock, of course, not going to be a huge influential factor here, but This is going to be a clutch moment here. Nobody wants to be sitting at 3-0. It's a very tough spot to come back from, especially when it's this best of 7.
So Blades Edge Arena, both teams having a Warlock. Who do you go on?
I mean, that's what I'm questioning here. Now, the difference between these two teams, of course, being in the healer slot, for SKEG, we do have a Shaman, and on the other side of things, we do have a Priest. So you can kind of say SKEG will have a little bit more aggression, but one thing to note as well is there is a Dispel on the other side, so I mean, they are able to get rid of Bloodlust if that is an option they go for.
I mean, being able to dispel so much of the, I mean, Warlock damage has destruction with their dots, you know, it's not that big of a deal. You know, so that is going to be able to not only with the prayer mending bouncing around constantly, plus you do have the dispel on even the minor dot damage.
All right, gates about to open. Game 3, SKEG, Complexity Red. First series for both of these teams. And now let's follow Pooks out of the gate as he's going to come up top to the middle of the bridge. And it looks like he's going to be the aggressor here for SKEG. And they're going to put a rank 1 frostbolt and start trying to control a little bit. And out comes that Bloodlust very early on as the pressure is already starting. But it looks like they're actually going to be going on Snuts.
Yeah, Snut's the guy that can get out of line of sight quickly and bounce back up if needed. Zale taking a little bit of damage right now, is spell locked right now, but Pooks channeling as much damage as he can, and he is going to drop down and start attacking Snuts, it looks like, knowing that he can port back up whenever he wants.
And now it looks like they're actually going to be focusing on pets as well. Pooks trying to go on to Snuts' pet, but he's going to be polyed off and unable to bring it down, and it's going to be health funneled back up to full.
And they're not making anything happen with that Bloodlust. That is unfortunate right now because now they don't have that advantage of having the Bloodlust from the Shaman.
And now you saw a little bit of pressure on the Venruki, but still both teams kind of just going through. But Pooks taking a big dip there, and now he's going to come back up, and Collective will pick him up as neither of these teams have a full form of MS. But Bloodlust has already been used. It's down. Now I expect Complexity Red to start trying to be the aggressors here.
Oh, of course. And I mean, you see Pooks using his first block right there, getting rid of every debuff possible. Snuts is in a Hex right now, able to get out of that, of course, because of Venruki's remove curse.
Now, I want you to take a look at something, though. Soda's mana down below 3,000, Collective over 10k mana at this point. So if this goes into the long game, it may actually go in the favor of SKEG if they can hold on.
All right, Nazale is in a fear right now, and looks like they are going to be going on Pooks, taking a lot of damage yet again, having that Hypothermia. There we go. Hypothermia drops off, able to block if needed at this point.
And now we see control going back and forth between both teams. Collective taking a little bit of damage, but going to go ahead and Earth Shield himself as he sees the swap coming. A lot of damage coming in. Now Venruki going ahead and going to have to block in that situation. And now a fear coming across on all three members of SKEG. Collective just being CC'd over and over again, and now following through with a little bit of damage. But look at Venruki dropping down to 4k HP, getting very low pain suppression used, and Snuts put into a Hex. So Venruki going to be the only DPS able to do anything for Complexity Red.
Sitting at half right now. I mean, where is Soda? There he goes. Now Soda is finding his target right now, able to toss a shield onto Venruki, and we do have the Hymn of Hope. Wow, great job right there, Shadow Fearing around the pillar to stop that Hymn of Hope, stopping as much mana as he can.
And not Collective getting very low on mana, but Soda down below, there we go, 1,800 mana as he looks like he's going to be getting a little bit back, and he's used basically all of his big cooldowns at this point.
Soda doing a great job of using that power infusion to make his spells cost less mana. We do see a deep freeze onto Soda right there, followed by a death coil. Oh, this could be a switch onto Soda.
And now he's down to 5,000 HP, a lot of damage coming through. He has no mana left at this point, and there's a Shadow Fury, 6k HP, getting very low as he's trying to bounce down to below the bottom ramp. A Penance comes through, and that's going to be about all he has for a little bit, and no damage coming as both Snuts and Venruki are trying to save their teammate.
He actually thought he was on the other side of the bridge with the pillar that you can almost get around. He has 0 mana, 25 mana at that point. It's now regenning.
And now you see him with that pet right behind him, going to not allow him to drink. But not much damage going on the side of SKG as Collective is actually going to be able to drink. This is going to be huge if he's able to get off. There we go. A few ticks going through. He's going to have plenty of mana to make it through this game.
I mean, so is just running and trying to stay alive as long as he can so that he is still the target, which means that Snuts is going to be able to do some damage. However, Azale doing a great job earlier of porting up and keeping the pressure onto him.
And now you see some channels going into Soda, but he's still staying alive. And now Azael going from a poly to a fear. Now Pook's in a little bit of trouble, though, taking some damage. Earth Shield is up. He's going to go ahead and Viz out of there. He saw that situation getting very bad very quickly.
And there he goes. He has another pet up. Snut taking a lot of damage right now from that pet.
And wow, Snut spiking, and that's what you expect from both these teams. He's sitting up top at around 5,000 HP, still very low. And Soda still sitting almost at no mana, but able to make it through this game. Snut's on that top middle portion of the bridge. Going to Shadow Fury as they come up and try to put him down. 3,200. Finally, a penance comes in, but it will be counterspelled by Pooks. Great job only letting one tick go through. 2k HP on Snuts. 555 corruption is up and ticking. Down goes Snuts.
Killed by a cone of cold.
And SKEG able to score the first kill here in this game.
And when these Wizard Cleave teams come to the late play, I mean, you are going to see these cooldowns come back up. That death coil was huge.
And after 3 games played, it will be SKEG down 1 to Complexity Reds 2.
And you look at the damage anytime that games are dragged out, you know, that long. But look at the damage from Pooks compared to Van Rookie.
Yeah, I mean, the real story here, look at Snuts compared to Zale. He's getting about 25,000 more. But then on the other side, Pook's basically doubling Van Rookie's damage.
And that's a lot. I mean, they went on him, you know, most of the time. Anytime that Soda wasn't their primary target, they were looking for Van Rookie.
All right. Neither of these teams will be able to change up their comps at this moment because we are still going into the 4th game. It's only after the 2nd, 4th, and 6th, so it will be Wizard Cleave on Wizard Cleave, and it looks like we're going to be playing on Dalaran Arena this time.
Getting right back into the action for you guys, and I love when these teams are immediately ready to queue back up because both of them are confident on this Wizard Cleave.
Now, one of the big things, we were a little worried when SKEG was sitting down in that 0-2 position. It's great to see them change it up a little bit. Everyone talks about it. Azael and Pooks are known for playing Wizard Cleave, not only in this Season 5 gear, but on live, and they look very comfortable with it.
And they have been. Let's take a look at Azael this time to see how he handles it. He did a great job before. Like I said, when when Soda was able to get up onto the bridge and had a possibility of drinking, Azael was able to portal up, keep him in combat, dump some damage into him.
Now this is going to be a very interesting map. Last game, Snuts taking great advantage of that 2-tiered arena and portaling back up anytime he was in trouble. I mean, he stayed alive at almost no HP there towards the end for quite a while, and on this map you can do it that little bit, but it's not as extreme as Blade's Edge.
No, not as Blade's Edge, and of course these teams not having any sort of healing debuff, those penances are basically full heals.
All right, here we go. The game is live, and now we see these members trying to set up their portals behind boxes, and actually it's just going to be Azael putting it behind a box and immediately trying to channel some damage and get things started. As Van Rookie's taking a little bit down to around 15k, but a Shadow Fury going to come in and collect it, being controlled once again, taking some damage in that deep freeze. They will go ahead and pick himself up, but look at Van Rookie down to 2k. Wow, what a close block, and now the Bloodlust, and all they need to do is control Soda and make sure that runs out. There's a deep freeze on Soda followed by a Death Coil. They're just going to go on Soda, not even let him heal Van Rookie. Which person are they even going to go to kill Van Rookie? Trying to get out of there. In comes a penance. And wow, what a clutch situation there for Complexity Red.
That stacked CC. I mean, Van Rookie was at 3,000 mana for so long, and look at now Van Rookie in a great position of able to LOS if he needs to with that box right now, and also able to dump a lot of damage into Pooks.
And I see Pooks taking some damage, but Collective easily able to keep him up. And now Van Rookie once again dropping a little low. And now you see Pain Suppression having to be used as well.
Yeah, he is taking damage from the Warlock right now. Not a huge amount of damage. Pain Suppression might not have been the greatest idea at that point. But look, Collective's starting to rot down to about half hit points from the off damage.
And now you see they're actually going to turn to him and try to get him. He's dropping very low, having to use his trinket as well. And now you see the Shadow Fury come through, and he's just wanting to play his character for a few minutes, followed by Fear, down to 10,000 HP again. And there you see a big heal come through. He will top himself back off as a Halaterra comes in from Azael. And look, wow, Van Rookie having a block again. Damage is back and forth at this point.
And here we go. They haven't been controlling Soda as much as they did before. However, no heals onto Van Rookie so far, 10,000 hit points, and now he's getting that penance.
He's going to go ahead behind that box and try to LOS a little bit of damage, as he is going to be completely out of blocks at this point.
Now Venruki is going to be the target, of course. They just need to put a little crowd control onto Soda. However, Pook's also taking some damage, using his block right there since he is at half. That Earth Shield was swapped to him.
And now Venruki still having to kind of run away as he's not topped off. All three members of Complexity Red still sitting pretty low on HP, and now Soda CS. And actually Venruki's going to back off and try to get that full evocate off, and he will do so. So he's going to come back into the fight finally, as there's a lot of damage still pumping into the team of Complexity Red.
All right, Collective sitting, great job having a half mana right now, and Snuts seems to be the new target of the team of SKEG.
He drops down to about 12,000 HP as you see him trying to get off some damage as well, but not a lot of things going for Complexity Red so far. They haven't seemed to be able to really set up a burst yet, and you see them once again trying to go on to Pooks. Haliterra comes across, and now let's see if they can set some damage up as Pooks does drop down a little low.
Snuts has used his trinket. He trinketed a late fear. Not sure why he did that, but now we have a Zale who is sheeped in the center, looking to toss a lot more damage out onto Snuts.
And now you see Pooks having to go off an evocate, so both mages going through their cooldowns as well, and this is what we were talking about earlier. It's going to be another one of those long games. Zale dropping down a little low, but still nothing too scary yet.
Now the big deal right now for Collective is going to be mana conservation right now. He did anticipate the swap, which was a great idea, and switch his Earth Shield to himself. However, look at this big fear. They are going to be dotting him up. Snuts is going to go on him with that Immolate and Corruption, followed by a Death Coil.
He drops down to about 10,000 HP. Coming out of that, he's going to pick himself up a little bit, and once again, his mana is getting very low, but so is Soda. And now you see that Hex come out on the Snuts, finally cleared by Venruki, and Soda caught into a poly, which will be broken.
Collective right now doing everything he can to keep his mana up. You can see as he does have his totems out, using everyone as much as he can. That grounding just hit a huge Frostbolt right there.
And now Fear on the Collective being controlled a little bit. Still going to be a very long game. Pooks getting down in that deep freeze at around 6,000 HP, getting out of there. But look over to Soda having to pain suppression and PI himself once again, as you see players from both teams with these cooldowns coming out. Shadow Fury coming across, but Pooks down to 3,000 HP. Iceberry up. He's caught in a very bad place. 200 HP, and down goes Pooks.
Wow, and we could hear Snuts from here yelling, knowing that either the counter spell missed or he knows he's not going to be stopped with damage, and Pooks just couldn't do anything. Now what they're going to be able to do now, since it is a 2v3 situation and the amount of crowd control that this Wizardcleave has, they're able to crowd control one, DPS the other. Collective, who only has 1,000 mana right now, doing everything he can.
Yeah, he's going to try to get away. No player wants to give up, even in a situation like this, especially when you look over to Soda, who's basically at no mana as well.
One of the things that players kind of forget about is the fact that they have wands, and even when you're out of mana completely, as a priest, for example, you need to be doing, anytime that you can do damage, you need to do damage, and that's what he's been doing.
And there you see it, Collective just taking behind the boxes there, as he knows that they want to try to get on to anybody who's just trying to prevent that. And in comes the Shadow Fury. Now they're both going to finally catch up. But look at Soda, basically out of mana, but it doesn't matter. Collective finally gets stopped and held up just long enough, and Snuts and Venruki blow him up.
And that was about 12,000 damage probably in a split second right there. That dropped him from about half to dead. And I mean, this has been such an exciting series already.
So after 4 games played, this will put Complexity Red in a very dominant position of 3-1, making it a possible match point for them in the next game. Now this is after the 4th game, so both teams will be given a few minutes to maybe change their comps or anything, but you can better believe they're at least going to talk about this next game, because it is huge for SKEG. Either they win the next 3 games, or they're going to be knocked down to the losers bracket with Button Bashers.
And now taking a look at damage, Snuts almost broke 200,000 damage, but I mean, he didn't have that massive burst that sometimes we see out of the Destruction Warlock. So about 5,200 damage was his hardest hit, and Venruki with that 5,700 point Frostbolt right there.
So we're going to take a short commercial break right here in the middle of the series between Complexity Red and the team of SKEG, but we'll be right back here live from Orlando with the Major League Gaming 2009 PC Circuit played on HP.
Do you want to be at the top of your game? Compete and be the top dog on GameBattles.com. If you've got the skills, you can be the top of the leaderboards in Halo 3, Gears of War, FIFA 09, Rainbow Six Vegas 2, and Call of Duty 4. FIFA's top dog is Alice Barmore. With a 49-7 record, he left the rest of the competition in the dust. To find out the winners for the other games or for more information on how to become the next ballpark top dog, head on over to GameBattles.com/topdog.
Spit out your stride gum and chew another piece already, or we'll find you.
Got the gum.
The ridiculously long-lasting gum. New Stride Uber Bubble.
Hi. I hate my phone. What do I do? This is crazy.
Let's run a free upgrade check. See if you're due for a new smartphone.
Don't I need to go to my carrier store for
No,
that?
you don't have to. We sell phones and plans on all the major networks.
Okay, well, is time travel possible?
Yes, I am from the future.
Phones, plans, and advice from thousands of people eager to help.
Scientific tests prove when you drink Dr. Pepper slow, 23 flavors taste even better. For me, slow always produces a hit. Step aside for a minute. Check this out. Slower is better. Trust me. Doctor. Scientific tests prove when you drink Dr. Pepper slow, 23 flavors taste even better. For me, slow always produces a hit. Step aside for a minute. Check this out. Slower is better. Trust me. Doctor.
Welcome back to the 2009 Major League Gaming PC circuit played on HP live from Orlando. I'm Keith Igo of Trahan, joined by Jared VL Colston, and we are right in the middle of the series between coL.Red and SKEG, with coL.Red with this dominant lead of 3-1.
Not only are we in the middle of this series, we're jumping directly back into the action. We do have Ruins of Lordaeron being the fifth map.
And this could be all said and done here with coL.Red clinching the series. If they take a win, SKEG cannot drop a point from here out.
Yeah, and look at Snuts' play so far has been absolutely amazing. He's been doing such a great job with that crowd control when needed and the burst damage.
That he has. He's been an all-star, especially in the challenge yesterday. It was great watching those guys come through. And now we have Snuts and Vinruki doing it once again. I mean, that would be a heck of a weekend for a guy fresh to the tournament scene to come into a fun tournament like the All-Star Challenge, win it, and then able to take home the champion title in this tournament and that $15,000 check.
And that's what everyone here is aiming for. There aren't any, throwaway teams or teams that, just showed up, because they had to qualify over the whole year.
JP with a little fun note there, Check 6 discussing stuff behind their teammates and laughing. You don't see a WoW team having that much fun unless you play a prot warrior. But let's do this. coL.Red versus SKEG with the action already starting. Both mages jumping around to the middle of the pillar, and you see them trying to get a poly to stick. And now you see dots going on to a few people here, but no real damage started just yet.
Now you do see Snuts right now, who wasn't able to put as much damage as he'd like right there. Now we do see the Shadow Fury followed by a Howl of Terror.
And as we've seen in a couple of these games, they've been quite long games until both of these casters can set up onto one target. Now you see Pooks trying to put a little bit of damage into Vinruki, dropping him a little low, and now Collective gets bursted though, as both Vinruki and Snuts are able to drop him down very low. NS has been used already, so he's not going to have that. If they go for him again, drops down to 8,000 HP. Shadow Fury comes in, 3k HP, CS as well. Down goes Collective, and Snuts and Vinruki are a powerhouse and can't be stopped. And just like that, coL.Red makes it 4-1 over this new lineup from SKEG.
And it wasn't even a huge, gigantic Chaos Bolt or anything like that killed him. It was just coordinated damage. I mean, you look at Soda did more damage than Vinruki in that match. But we had a great view of Snuts. He was the person that was on the camera when we saw Collective all the way across the center of the arena just get absolutely domed and brought down to like 10%, was able to NS himself back up, but the amount of crowd control after that, couldn't do anything.
So just like that, we do have our loser bracket set up. It's going to be Button Bashers versus SKEG, and it's going to be intense. This is going to decide the first team that will be knocked out. But first, short commercial break, and then we'll be back here live from Orlando.